Welcome to another episode of Searching for MacGuffin with your hosts, George,
Dan,
Gabe?
And learn.
What was that?
And Lurk?
And learn.
And Lurch.
Lurk.
This week, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite shows, The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
What?
That's what the show notes said, right?
I thought it was Captain Marvel.
The movie Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
From 3 years ago?
Oh, that's right. It's not a TV show. That's right. But isn't it something about Marvel?
I thought it was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Guys, did we all just watch the wrong thing in anticipation for...
I feel like I lost in this bet, though.
I don't know. I watched Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm good.
Exactly.
You know, I heard that there was a Mrs. Doubtfire musical on Broadway.
Is that not what we watched?
Oh, you went to New York and watched Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's not the same without Robin Williams.
I would imagine that.
Yeah,
I
that's
bet.
Yeah.
that's fair. Okay, so I'm looking through the notes now. I think we were supposed to talk about Miss Marvel. Oh, I did watch that.
Oh.
Did you guys
that's
watch?
right.
Did you guys watch Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I just recently finished watching it.
Oh, you mean like moments ago? You
Like,
finished
like,
watching
right before this.
Okay. How was that?
I think I had to go to the gym. I had to rush to see it. You know, I guess
So
I
that
haven't.
you could be prepared for the show.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up.
Sacrifices, man.
I haven't been keeping up, I guess,
With
week
the
to week.
Kardashians.
Well, the past 2 weeks I haven't really watched it week to week, so I had to kind of catch up. You know, things back up and things get a little busy. So
Do you feel like that's been happening more lately?
all the time. I mean,
Oh.
especially like with starting school and things like that, but like also like just having a life outside of sticking my face in front of a TV.
Yeah. What about you guys, Dan, Link? Do you guys?
I didn't watch it. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you watch the first 2 episodes?
I watched the first episode when it came out. Watched it with you guys.
Oh, that's right. That was fun.
Second episode I watched. What day are we in? I watched 2
We're
days
not allowed
ago.
to reveal what day we recorded this.
I watched it 2 days ago. But then as I'm watching it, I'm like, hey, there's this new show I want to check out. And I ended up watching that whole show instead of this.
Oh, what show was that?
The Bear.
Is it The Bear or is it Bear?
The Bear.
No, it's
Oh,
the bear.
Oh, it's The Bear. Okay,
The
because
Bear.
someone told me it was Bear. It was so weird. It was like
Barry?
He was like,
He's a liar.
yeah, he was like really sticking. Like it's Bear. It's Bear. It's
Who
not
said-
The
who
Bear.
said
Hey,
that?
who says Bear? This is
Nah,
weird.
I don't know.
Some
What, you
guy.
Bear Grylls?
Oh, maybe he was watching the Bear Grylls show.
Oh, he got confused too.
And I googled bear to find out what the show was about, and
And you
it was just
saw
bears. Yeah, it was just
Yes.
anyway. So okay, so you saw bear instead of
I
it.
saw The Bear Chef.
The Bear Chef?
The
It's
Bear,
not called
comma,
the Bear Chef.
Chef.
It's not. I don't think that's the name of the show.
No,
What's
I'm
it
calling,
about?
I'm saying I watched The Bear,
A chef.
comma, Chef.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
calling you Chef. That's,
Oh,
my,
you-
that's my new thing. I call
Oh,
everyone
I
Chef.
watched the bear.
Oh, I'm
Chef.
sorry, our friend Dan here.
Yeah. Heard Chef?
Okay.
Okay, Jeff.
And Dan, did you get to finish Miss Marvel?
I watched 1, 2, 3, and then 6
Why?
What?
because I just wanted to skip to the end.
Like,
'Cause I live a chaotic life.
oh, okay. You're all about that chaos theory.
Yes.
Okay. Are you gonna go back and finish the series? Or?
No.
Like straight.
Maybe eventually, but probably not.
Dan just hates shows on Disney Plus.
Guys,
I
but
do.
okay. Is that a real statement?
Dan hates
No,
the
it's not.
Mandalorian, confirmed.
I'm trying to be more positive, so no.
Oh, okay, good. Because I mean, I'm constantly getting messages through Twitter and I was gonna say Instagram. I don't have Instagram. About like they're like, oh, how's Dan the hater? Is he okay? He hasn't been on the show? Is he angry? What's
I was
going
on tour.
Oh, that is correct. Oh yeah, we haven't even welcomed back Dan. Now that he's back from his college
Thank you.
speaking circuit, he was
Welcome back.
you know.
I'm
Chef.
planning on touring again.
Yeah, I was
Back to
actually worried because I know you had been courted. You had a couple of offers to go do your own show for certain platforms, but
There was
I'm
this
glad-
show about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I was really tempted
that-
to join.
that guy keeps calling all of us.
I don't know, but
so I don't.
I feel like Dan came back looking a little different. Like he just doesn't have any more facial hair.
That's true, Dan.
I feel like your beard was a very like huge defining trait you had,
But he
but
looked like a child.
now it's
Time
you just
for
have like a
change.
suit. You just dress up very nicely. You look
Yeah.
lifeless sometimes, which isn't
Yeah.
like a gripe. It's just
The Mike
I
Tyson.
haven't
Hydration.
blinked in 20 minutes.
The Mike Tyson tattoo is a little bit
You're
weird.
just kind of like smiling.
There's no Mike Tyson tattoo.
Can you
My
not see
face
him?
hurts.
Oh, you can't. We're all in his way.
No, yeah, he feels
Oh, you know what? I did not. Wrong. I thought we were just coming up with stuff.
oh, because he's
I-
not
'cause
on.
I-
No, because he can't. Because Link cannot see.
I cannot
Oh.
see that far.
We're all in between him.
That's right. We have
I'm at the the
They
other
are-
end of the
They are
table.
worlds apart.
for anyone who
We've gone
ever
separate ways.
might see footage of this episode. Dan is here sitting next to me, and he's looking a little stiff, looking a little.
Botoxy.
Is that what you think Botox looks like?
Yeah, isn't that what? All these
He
Botox-
doesn't finish this.
I was gonna say, isn't that what Courtney Cox looks like right now?
Okay, that's
Oh,
not
it's
nice.
uncalled for.
We love you, Courtney.
Well,
Okay,
Monica-
your personal decisions, your body, your choice. Okay, that's neither here nor there. But so Dan's looking a little stiff. You guys, Link didn't finish Miss Marvel.
But he finished
Dan
the
skipped
barrel.
to the ending. Gabe rushed to finish it. I don't know if you enjoyed it the way if he would have just casually been watching it.
I think, yeah, I think I had a big role to play this morning.
Okay. And I had to rush to watch it the morning I woke up because I had spoilers being sent to me directly. That
Sorry.
exact same morning. It wasn't you. Well, it wasn't just you, but I guess it was you, Dan. I keep forgetting to look
Yeah,
at
you kind of spoiled the show for me.
Yeah, Dan.
I'm sorry. What
You
the heck did I
spoiled the show
say?
for us.
He didn't say anything.
You're sending. all
Oh, is
that
it the
stuff.
Statue of Liberty thing?
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty. It was like,
Yeah.
I'll forget it. I can't even watch the show anymore.
Wait, where was the Statue of Liberty?
Spoiler warning, the Statue of Liberty is in the final episode of...
Yeah. Sorry,
wait,
guys.
I was going to say Searching for MacGuffin of...
wait.
This is the final
the
episode?
in the last
Marvelous,
episode?
The Marvelous Miss Marvel.
Why wouldn't it be?
It's in the last episode.
Yeah, it's in... Oh, Gabe just saw it, but it doesn't remember. Yeah,
There
it's
was
in-
a drone shot.
Yeah, there's a drone
Yeah,
shot
it
at
was
that,
there.
right at the intro in the beginning.
Why wouldn't it be in it?
You know,
though?
the Statue of Liberty got like a really big like pop for a round of applause in our theater when we we're watching No Way Home.
Really? Like, just...
Like where Peter's like, I'm at the places where like what is it, Second Chances? Like where he calls out
Oh,
Goblin,
yeah.
and then he like points to the Statue of Liberty. Everyone just like erupted into clapping, and this was like a month after the movie was released.
Do you think it's because they're like big Statue of Liberty marks, or do you think it's because they love the new redesign with the Captain America shield?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay, because that was a horrible choice.
The Captain America shield.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You think that they should take an iconic monument of American history and just like put Cap shield on it?
In that
Like,
universe, yeah.
Okay.
Infinity cones.
Even the movie itself
hot
knows
take.
that it's not a good move because it provides a voice to the criticism and then destroys it by the end of the same
If
movie.
anything, they should just make a new monument.
Right? They should make a new monument.
They
with
should
Cap,
make
yeah.
a Cap monument right next to the Statue of Liberty, like an inch taller.
Yeah.
Not an inch shorter because that's what Cap would want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what they want.
That's what they want is to, what's the word? Deface the Statue of Liberty.
Exactly. So it's just, I love how we're just going back and referencing just Marvel content.
Yeah, because I mean, what else is there to reference? It's pretty much overtaken my life and this show. But we're not here to talk about New York City monuments. We're not here to talk about apparently the marvelous Miss Marvel, because apparently we're ill-equipped to do so. So, guys, what are we gonna talk about? This, I mean, you guys seem overwhelmed with prepping for this episode. Is everybody okay? Is everybody doing okay?
I'm fine. 10 out of 10.
You're a 10 out of 10.
You're fine. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Your scale is all over the place, Link. I don't even know what to think anymore.
Fine.
This is the only time he's been right.
Fine is 10 out of 10.
Wait, no.
Oh,
that-
never mind. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he said fine.
Yeah, he's fine. 10 out of 10.
But he's like a fine 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 equals
So
fine.
the fine is a 10 out of 10.
Okay. So
Man, I wouldn't want to hear what good is then.
it seems like it's become increasingly more and more difficult to keep up with the flurry of content that we're having aimed at us day to day at this point, right? Because it's like week to week, but also some stuff on Tuesday, some stuff on Wednesday, some stuff on Thursday. What do you guys feel about just the bevy of content that we have available to us?
I think it's beautiful.
Okay, why so?
I love it. I love all this content. I get to choose what I want, what I want to watch, what I don't want to watch. Guess I like that. I like the idea that I get to choose because there's so much of it.
Do you feel like you have unlimited power?
I do. I do feel like I have unlimited power, and yet I feel like I don't have enough power.
Why don't you unpack that? Well,
Because there's some shows that I watch that are weekly that I want to be able to binge in one sitting that I can't do, and that's what's bothering me. So maybe I'm not a fine 10 out of 10. Maybe I'm an okay 9 out of 10.
And that is what you call therapy.
That's what we provide, baby.
now I think we've talked about this in the past. You've mentioned your views on this, how you prefer to binge rather than go week to week. Why not just wait for the show to be over and binge it?
Oh, why wait? You know, when I would rather. I'm already invested in the show. I'm not gonna wait I don't know how many, 12 more weeks for it to finish.
But why don't you just not get invested in the show? Like, don't even.
Then
start?
don't recommend good shows to me, Danny.
Like what?
It's that easy.
What
That's all
shows? What shows do you have a problem with like this?
It's mostly anime. When it, that's how they release their stuff weekly. So it's like I have to wait once again. I don't like that.
Yeah, that happened to me with Only Murders in the Building. Like I tried to hold off from watching season 2, but then like I just didn't. I was in the mood for something funny, so I watched 5 of them, and now I'm caught up, and now I have to wait for the back half, week to week.
See, but I watched season 1 the day season 2 was released, and it was beautiful.
So you're gonna wait till season 2 is over?
Yeah.
But
I think I'm gonna wait till like the last episode comes out.
like
and then I'll binge
when
it
they
before
cancel
that.
the show.
Yeah. I mean, why would you cancel it? It just got nominated
They're
for some
gonna cancel
Emmys.
it?
No, I'm just saying like you're gonna wait till the last episode, like when the show's over, or this season.
This season.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna binge it like before and then watch the last one on time? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'd do that.
I think that's like the best binge. Yeah. I think that's what Link said he was gonna do for Miss Marvel, but
But stuff got in the way.
I think,
You always
I
are.
think that's what I did for Moon Knight.
oh yeah, you
That
like
was really good. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's a good strategy. I wish that's what it would have done for Obi-Wan. Well, I mean, I guess we had the week to week reactions.
But there's no way I'm not watching
on
Obi-Wan week to week.
Patreon available now.
There's
You
a-
think there was no way you were gonna watch Obi-Wan week to week?
No, there's no way I wasn't gonna watch Obi-Wan week to week. Like, be caught up with it. I don't know if like I could like wait for the whole show to be over and then watch it
Why?
because it's Star Wars and there's a conversation with Star Wars.
Yeah, the conversation is.
And that's the other thing, like, what I love about so much content being thrown out there is that you get to choose it. You get me? For some, Gabriel's not gonna watch some things week to week. For Star Wars, Gabriel, pretty much all of us are gonna watch it week to week, right?
Mhm.
And I like that. I like having that option.
How much choice do you really have though? Like Gabriel's saying, I'm not gonna miss out on the conversation. Like, do you have a choice in that, or is he forced to watch it week to week?
I
You
have a choice.
I'm not forced
'Cause I
to
get
do
to-
anything.
yeah, I'm
it's
not
my
forced-
choice. But
exactly.
the way that my brain is set up, and it feels like I don't have a choice.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
But
can-
I do. I completely have a choice to say, hey, like I'm gonna wait to watch this. I'm gonna
ignore social media.
delay the gratification, but honestly, even when I do see the conversation, like yeah, there's some funny memes, but then the rest of it are just terrible takes and opinions that I do not care about, and
kinda ruin the
it
show, if
bothers me.
anything. Yeah.
So I think, in a sense, missing out on the conversation is kind of a good thing, in some cases.
But also, can you miss out on the conversation? Because I know that the situation I find myself in is if I don't watch it, I'm still going to be flooded with the conversation, and then it's going to taint or alter my perception whenever I do get around to watching.
Like, for me, it's like I know someone's gonna bring it up to me, even if I'm not actively looking for that conversation. It's gonna find me. Someone's gonna talk to me about it.
Wise words.
You're right. It's like you can't
Well-
avoid it, right? Because I'm, at least for me, I know I'm like the go-to person in so many people's. Like if I delay watching Star Wars or the Marvel show, like someone's gonna tell me later that day or the next day, like, oh, you saw it, oh, and they're gonna want to talk about it, and it's like I feel a responsibility, a weird pseudo responsibility towards those people. Life is so tough, guys. When did it become so difficult? What do you think was the starting point for this, like, just ocean of content? When did you start to feel it?
I think at the beginning of television.
When they invented
When
television?
they invented the black and white television.
That's what, the 1950s, I
Yeah.
believe?
I think it all started from there. It all went downhill from there.
Oh, okay. Television was a great tool. It was meant to educate and
Inform.
communicate. Yeah.
Now we have podcasts to educate us.
Yes, that is what we do here, day in and day out. Just educate the masses. Was there another point in period after the invention of television that you think maybe there was a shift in?
I think the invention of the internet
This
was
is-
also made things worse with
Yeah.
content.
He has a point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take that. What I'm not sure is a serious comment, and explore.
I feel like with internet, you just have information that's just. I mean, as time goes on, as time progresses, I think it's just more easily available to more and more people. With like music was one of those big things. Remember when they had like LimeWire,
Napster.
Napster?
You guys heard that LimeWire is back as an NFT?
NFT.
Ooh.
NFT,
Oh, that's that other thing. we
which
need
I'm
to talk
really
about.
Circle.
confused about because are they selling NFT or are you illegally pirating NFTs?
They are the villain now.
I don't understand what LimeWire is doing now.
What else?
That's it. I guess none of us know, so that's.
I don't know, so I can't
Yeah.
speak to it. Phones are a big one.
How so?
Having the internet directly on your phone.
Having television directly on
Are we
your
just
phone.
gonna go
I
through
remember when
every
like they started
invention?
having like apps, just like you can just watch TV and movies on your phone, and I was like, man, we're gonna have flying cars soon.
Hey, do you guys remember Justin TV? Or did you never? Were you never on Justin TV?
Oh, wait, are you
sounds
saying
so
are you
familiar.
saying Justin TV or just in?
Spelled the same
TV.
way, right?
So I always thought it was Justin TV, and I was like,
Is
"Who's
this someone
Justin?"
named Justin?
Yeah. I thought it was just like a guy named Justin, but apparently it was just in TV.
Oh, like that guy called Just in Case.
Yeah, or just isn't that your father?
I think it's your brother.
Oh, I think he stole that practice from your father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we would always just get like mail to the house to these random like pseudonyms, and they were always puns, and they were just like dummy accounts for your dad. And then like my brother,
Oh,
Like
Dad.
Tom Morales?
Tom Maracas.
Maracas.
Maracas?
Oh, you're giving up all these fake identities from?
Oh no.
Yeah, he's outed for real now.
Oh no.
So Justin TV.
Yeah, Justin TV. You guys don't remember Justin TV?
What is that?
Seems familiar.
Justin TV was a streaming app that like it was basically in the early days of video streaming, like when it was the Wild West, and you could just basically upload or stream anything you want. Like YouTube was where you would upload anything you want, right? And they weren't really into live content, but Justin TV, you would stream, like people would just have channels where they're like, oh, Golden Girls 24 hours a day, like pro wrestling 24 hours a day, like just football, whatever it was, just and you would just follow each other and you would like just watch all this content. It was awesome. And I always had like this idea, like, oh, I'm gonna have a channel, like maybe we can talk and do a show. Look how ideas come around. But I just found out the other day, I was like, whatever happened to Justin TV? That was like so cool.
Did it become Twitch?
It did become Twitch.
Oh wow.
Oh, did it really?
Yes.
You were describing. I was like, sounds like Twitch.
Yeah, it became Twitch. So I was like, oh, that's what happened to Justin TV. So
I should have kept that name.
Right? It's kind of a cool name. It was like, who's Justin? Right? No. Oh. But yeah, then they became Twitch. They focused on gaming and then ironically went just back to diversifying. So that's a little lesson there.
It's actually really interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that till just the other day. I found
Wow,
out.
that was really interesting.
So if you learned anything today, It's the origins of Twitch. With that being said, I think we've always had content, right? It's like what Link was just saying. Like ever since it was TV, now you have choices, right? And ever since the internet blew up, now you have even more choices. But I think we're like on another level now. And for me, I think that starting point was the pandemic, like COVID era, where not only do you have a bunch of choices, but also you have more time to invest because you don't really have anything else going on, no? Did you guys experience this or?
In a
there's nothing.
sense,
There's nothing to do other than there was nothing to do other than stay inside, and it was a way to escape the harshness of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was still going to work.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So nothing changed in your. Well, what about like social outings and stuff? You weren't going out as much, or was your life just normal during the?
I think at that point, like even then,
Did your state not care about COVID?
I was no, I was still kind of like doing the same thing. I'm just staying in. I think it changed like when I just like my circle grew, or like people had moved back or whatever. But from where I was, like me and my roommates were pretty much like home buddies at that point.
Oh,
so we
okay,
were like
so-
just watching. We just make food and just watch TV and stuff like that. I
So
think
work at home was already your routine.
no, I wasn't working at home. The thing is, I
No.
work
I mean, work
at
go
home. Yeah.
Work, go home.
I think the things that changed the most is like, well, I got into a relationship, so obviously that had changed. The person I was with wanted to go like out and do stuff, but we were very limited, and not as limited as you guys in here in Florida. I was in Tennessee, where they were a bit more lenient. You just had to like wear masks, but like the time where you guys were like are actually shut down, we could like go somewhere like and go to a park. I think for the most part, like.
Well, yeah, because you guys have like more outdoor options also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as like being active, like I love to play soccer. So I think that was one of the things that I was limited by, where I had to like, that's like an extra hour or two in my day where I would have to stay at home or I mean, yeah, just stay at home, either play ping pong or watch an extra TV show or movie. I mean, but during the pandemic, I did watch a lot of things that had come out, but also, I mean, that had like just come out or that I was missing out on before.
So you did start catching up on things.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
No, for me it was a complete shutdown. It was just
Like the state, yourself, or like
Like your
Everything.
internet, your internet stopped
yeah,
working.
yes, everything.
you were living
So I
in
was
a
in a
cave.
just in a dark
post-apocalyptic
room,
world.
just yeah.
I keep
sitting
looking
there.
at the laptop, but he's sitting right next to me. Oh, because you like your school went fully online, and
Yeah.
That's true, man. I can't
So
imagine.
it was just school in my room, TV in the living room, go to
endless
sleep,
hours of Animal
cry,
Crossing.
endless hours of Animal Crossing, 600 specifically.
Wow, that's impressive.
No, it's not.
Okay, it's sad. No, I think it's impressive to me. I don't think it's sad. I think it's impressive to me, but yeah, everyone has their own value system.
Got a lot
Um,
of time on my hands.
What did your habits become? Like, how did they change in that time?
How so? What do you mean?
Like, okay, so now you're at home and you have more time to interface with this media. What changed in the one example, you're binging Animal Crossing, right?
Yes. I
Like,
mean,
just
I started
nonstop.
binging everything,
Okay.
like YouTube, TV. Like,
What about
I
Justin
started watching
TV?
basketball again.
If you would have
they
known
brought
about
the
Justin
bubble.
TV.
Yeah, if only there was Justin TV,
Yeah.
then maybe I had something to do. But
And it's funny what you're saying, because I'm not a big YouTube guy, and I started like looking into YouTube. I'm not a Twitch guy, and I started looking into
Oh
Twitch.
yeah, no YouTube, because I had a roommate who he wouldn't really watch like TV and movies. Like I kind of got into it because I was watching him, so obviously we do it together. But he was just always a YouTube person.
Mm-hmm.
He's just always randomly watching different videos, and I'm like, how is this entertaining for you? You wouldn't want to watch like a serialized show or like something with a plot and a story and characters that you can like invest in. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's just like not as much commitment. I just watching a short video, learn something, and then dip or watch something else. And I was like, it was insane to me. The pandemic hit, and I'm like, I got sucked into a hole. Like I was just like, subscribe. I was just like
Yep.
watching different videos. I realized what kind of a tool YouTube can be and how massive it is. And the thing is, like, it's insane how much you can learn and how much you can waste time.
Yeah, because it was both things, right? I was like, YouTube is the best tool that I wasn't using, and I was genuinely, because like things would happen, like the door of my garage broke during the pandemic, and it's like you know how hard it is to get an appointment during the height of the pandemic. Everything's backed up, everybody's fixing everything, and you know there's not that much work. So I had to learn, me and my wife, how to fix the garage door, buy the cable, replace it, and YouTube walked us through that. But also the endless amount of hours that I don't even know what I watched. Like just people talking about who knows what. Like I'll never remember any of the information, but just wasted time as well. So like really useful stuff, you know, launching this show, YouTube tutorials, but also like just inane conversation that like I probably shouldn't have been a part of.
Yeah,
I
and I
mean,
feel
but
like
that's part of that like huge amount of content. Like, there's great stuff, but there's also just complete waste of times and like
that's
garbage.
the thing. I just feel like that follows with the theme where it's just like you have this tool, this base, this library of content at your fingertips, but it's like there's so much to see that sometimes for me it can get overwhelming. Like I want to watch this, but I should be listening to this at the same time. But I should I want to be more informed about this aspect, and it's just like there's so many different options that it becomes kind of paralyzing in a sense.
Choice paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think leads to choice paralysis? What do you think are some of the factors that kind of leave you stuck?
I mean, just honestly having like, it's just streaming, man. With streaming, it's so hard because it's like I'll scroll for hours.
Yeah.
I will not watch something until I just close my eyes and click.
I've had nights where like me and friends or family just look at what to watch without ever actually watching anything. Maybe at the end we'll settle on something short, you know? But like, let's start this series. We'll watch 1 or 2 episodes instead of like, you know, a full movie. But like spent the night just browsing catalogs.
And most of the time, I just end up watching something I've already seen. Just because I know that I'm going to enjoy it.
What?
Yeah, okay. Gabe's
never done that?
Yeah.
I don't think I caught the first half of what you said.
No, I mean, sometimes instead of endlessly scrolling, I just rewatch.
Oh, like how Link rewatches Arrested Development, and I rewatch Seinfeld.
Because it's like,
you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I don't
it's
actually
safe,
have to
it's
pay
comfortable.
full attention. Yeah.
I'm a big like watch something new guy because my backlog and my queue, I literally have organized checklist of things that I need to get through. So like I always want to push through it, but my wife's a big like go back and rewatch. Like we saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and she's like, "All right, let's watch all the Thor movies again." And I'm like, so Thor, and then Avengers, and then Thor 2, and then Avengers, and then Thor 3.
Oh, you watch all the ones
and then Avengers, and then Avengers. Yeah, because that's how you get the full story.
Yeah.
I mean, the Loki and Thor relationship runs through all.
It's so interesting how Disney just carefully curates all those films for you.
Yeah. But they don't put them in order though. But they don't put like
What?
I get mad when you go to the Thor collection and after you watch Thor 1, it's like now watch Thor 2, and I go, no, that's not right. Because
that's not how it.
Because Loki will come back in Avengers and they'll fight and then get arrested and then take him back to Asgard in Thor 2. Like that's how it should be. So then you watch Avengers and then it doesn't kick you to Thor 2. It kicks you to Age of Ultron. I'm like, no, I don't want. This is the Thor collection.
Yeah.
So Disney, if you want to like, you know, curate that list for me specifically, well, I guess you don't have to because I already watched everything on it. But just a thought there. So it's like that choice of like something familiar or something new. Going back to that period of like COVID, one of the things was that a lot of streaming services actually launched during that time. One, because they were coming anyways, but two, out of necessity, because they needed to start monetizing this content. You know, they weren't having theatrical releases. A lot of those companies that own these streaming services, they run major studios as well.
And that was like just like a primetime like spot.
Yeah.
To open up.
We all fell in love with Disney Plus and HBO Max real fast, right? Because just content after content. And there was a backlog in production there too, because everybody was shut down. They weren't making stuff during that period. So now that we're on the other side of the pandemic, we're going, like you said, back to our regular everyday lives. But it seems like
a ton of content.
Yes, like a flood of it. And I think even more so than what we had during the pandemic, right?
I would say so. Because all these streaming services are launched and established. And we have the theaters back.
Yeah.
So it's just from every angle there's content.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people thought theaters were gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time
Theaters
there.
then and now.
It seemed like it was.
There was a time when it seemed like they were gonna die, and
Yeah.
I was sad, but I was happy about
And
it.
then somebody saved them. Who saved them?
The government.
You?
What
We
movie? Aside from me, yeah.
The people who invested in AMC when they
What-
weren't worth anything.
What movie do you think
Oh, I thought you were gonna
was
say
like
the government
that
saved them.
movie?
Well, what was the movie? Well, I know that Christopher Nolan really wanted.
Yeah, but that was I
what
think that
was
was
it?
too early.
Was it
Tenet.
a movie? Tenet.
Yeah,
to
that
be
was too
movie?
early.
I think it was too early.
No Way
What
Home.
came after Tenet? I think No Way Home was actually the one to save the theaters.
I think No Way Home's the first one to like start breaking
I think
records.
I think everyone got back in on No Way Home because there was movies coming out before then, but like Dune was one, but not everyone's rushing. I guess.
I think
out to
Dune brought me back.
Yeah.
And then
But
No
also
Time to Die.
Dune was available on HBO, so like you didn't have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with the streaming. Like the theaters, they did that thing where they would like release them in the theaters and then right after release them on their platform.
I miss that.
But
Because I would watch Jurassic World this weekend if it was streaming, but I will not go out to
Same.
watch that movie.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
No, I think it is No Way Home. Marvel.
Which we talk about a lot on this show lately. Why?
They produce a lot of content.
Because they're pumping that joint out every week.
There's something to talk about Marvel literally every
They're
week.
catching up with all the content they weren't able to release those 2 years.
I guess to put it in perspective for anyone who doesn't realize how much content has been releasing from Marvel, phases 1 to 3 are 55 hours, and phase 4 just passed it in total runtime.
1 through
which
3.
to me is insane.
What is the cutoff of 3?
I wonder if
Far From
Far
Home.
From Home.
Far from Spider-Man is introduced
Yeah.
with all those movies in between that.
No, Endgame and Far From Home. So like,
The conclusion of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah,
but
the
is
Infinity-
that including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
no, because that's not part
But
of
that's what we're doing now. We're including TV shows.
it. Well, you
Yeah,
could.
but we're
but that-
including
no, but
canon
that-
TV shows.
Yeah, those shows.
Agents
Yeah.
of S.H.I.E.L.D. was
count.
not canon?
No, it was
No.
not. In
Oh, that's-
hindsight.
Or it's made not to be now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Well, like,
Yeah.
Okay, this is a controversial topic, probably for another time. But basically,
But at the time, wasn't it canon?
this is the point. It was
Kind
intended
of.
to be,
Yeah.
but then there was the split between TV and movies. All the other TV shows are not. So then they started running like there was no more connection between the movie studio and the TV studio. So they did not know what was happening in the movies behind the scenes. So they kind of had to try to pretend to align. And at some point they just started like time traveling, going into the future, whatever. So if you want to make it in your head canon, you could say that there's a point where they mess with the timeline so much on that show that it just deviates into its own timeline. Because by the end of it, it does not coincide with the MCU anymore. But based on the Endgame rules, they
Nothing
they
matters.
branched off. Yeah, they branched off to tell their own story once time travel was introduced on the show. So at some point it was connected, but it is a branching path.
But yeah, the runtime is not including that.
And that's like that ran for like what, 7 years? It was like an hour show.
Yeah, I would say if you add all the other shows to it, you would also
All the other shows like also Daredevil and
Yeah,
Jessica.
the stuff from Netflix. It might not be canon, but it's still content that they were producing.
You know, I would like to see that though. Like that's a fair point, Link. I would like to see someone put those numbers together,
Yeah.
and we might do that after
because
this.
we were perfectly fine with all those numbers, right?
Yeah, you're right. Because that's fair. No one else is producing other Marvel content
Now,
So
yeah.
like, if we take the Defenders off the stage, if we take Agents of Shield off the stage, but also though, don't you
But
feel
they
more?
felt different.
Yeah, don't you feel more motivated to watch this stuff though, Link? Like more necessity because it's so interconnected.
I haven't seen how they're interconnected yet. Yeah,
Well, I mean, you cannot go watch Doctor Strange 2 without having seen WandaVision. That movie won't make any sense to you.
no, that's true. Yeah.
Um,
But even then, it was
That's
content that
probably-
it was content that you were consuming no matter what. It's not saying whether
well,
See, 'cause you had
you didn't
to.
watch Agents
You-
of
so
Shield.
no
E you didn't
matter
miss
what,
anything.
You felt
Huh?
forced to watch it.
what happened.
You
Go
felt
ahead, Dan.
forced
I'm
to
sorry.
watch it
Forced
You've-
to watch what?
because you're saying no matter what, we were gonna consume it because we kind of had to.
He's arguing that the shows back then too were in the same position. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you have Loki and Moon Knight now, but you always had Luke Cage and Agent Carter, for example. But I don't know.
It feels different.
Never
It-
saw
I-
Agent
I don't
Carter.
know.
Agent Carter is one of the best, actually.
Oh, I know.
I would go out on my way to back. And Agent Carter is
I would
actually
go out of
canon.
my way to say that the TV back then was better than the TV now.
Okay. Expand on that. You think the TV back then was better than the TV
Yeah,
now?
the TV. I mean, the stuff that's interconnected now with the MCU, and that's part of Phase 4. It's good. It's not as good as some of the stuff that was made that wasn't part of the MCU.
I agree.
I agree with that too.
So
So, you
it's
think
not
there's
as
a quality?
And it's
Yeah.
interconnected, so
Yeah.
it's essential viewing.
It's not as good and it's interconnected, so you determine whether you want it to be essential viewing or not.
It's funny because this whole everything's connected thing was kind of the pitch at the beginning. And like we would struggle to see because they would tell us like, oh no, Daredevil's connected. And like you have like the headlines of the events of Avengers. It's in the Daredevil show. So like technically it's interconnected. But then they would play by these different rules where you're like, is it though? And now I kind of feel like we feel aimless, I think. I think we talked a little bit about this on the Thor episode last week. No? Where we're not really sure what the general direction is.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So Link hinted at like quality. What do you think about overall? Let's expand this beyond Marvel. Because I know, again, Marvel loves to take up so much of our conversation because of how much content they're producing and just how much like on the forefront of the cultural zeitgeist they're on. But what about the rest of the content? Do you think there's a difference between the quality we used to get before every major studio had a streaming platform? Or do you think the quality has remained consistent or better?
I think it's remained consistent.
I think I'm just open to seeing more stuff. I mean, I don't really know the numbers, but it seems like there's more shows. But I mean, the thing is, like, Link has kind of just been like proving, like, going against some of the thoughts that I had before. But he's also opening my eyes. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. I think that my scope has been widened.
Yeah,
I think things have become more accessible to me.
it's because you have money now and you can afford.
That's also
Because
true.
honestly, like, I didn't have cable growing up, right?
Uh-huh.
So I didn't have any access to all these great, HBO, Stars, all these great shows, right? Because I was young, I couldn't afford it. But I'm working now. We're working now. We find ways to watch these shows.
Yeah.
You get me? We can afford these streaming services. Now you have all this
Yeah.
access.
No, and you have
of great
access to,
quality.
and you have access to even if you don't have the money, because the reality is like, I need a cell phone provider and it gives me HBO.
Yeah.
I need an internet provider and it gives me Peacock. And everybody probably has a
And it gives you
service
Apple
provider that gives you an access.
Apple TV.
Yeah, I have an iPad. I buy iPads and iPhones and they give me Apple TV, right? And everybody, no matter what cellular network you have or what internet provider, you probably have access to at least one of the streaming services because of it.
All right, so I guess going back to your question, is your question specifically like for brand new content that's coming out? Because I feel like with a lot of these streaming services, they're getting a bunch of just old classic shows from different places and they're
catalogs.
coming back in. It's like some of those shows I'm gonna go back and watch if they're like I'm almost done with The Sopranos. I want to watch The Wire. Like a lot of the HBO
Yeah,
titles.
I'm like
that
in the
I already
middle
have.
of an X-Files
But
like
it's-
multi-year
yeah.
binge.
I would equate that to buying the DVDs of each.
Exactly, like those shows are already out, so
yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like,
But people didn't buy the DVDs.
I know,
as
but if you
much
were
as they
interested in
streamed.
it, you would watch it.
I don't think
because
so.
TV has been blurred.
Once, okay, if you, because I did buy many TV shows, in my time, but it's like hundreds of dollars of an investment on a show. If you could get every season used to be like $40-$50, but let's say you get it on like sale $20 per season, but a show runs 7-8 years, we're talking about hundreds of dollars per show. This is a service that you're either already paying for or getting for free, and then the entire catalog is there already.
I mean,
it's
it was like
different.
it was like buying an album back then versus having like Spotify.
Absolutely, yeah.
You had to really love the content
Or
all
be
the way
tricked,
through.
or be tricked into it.
or be tricked into it. Yeah,
You have to go seek it out. Now it's just kind of in your face. Like, here.
exactly.
Yeah, think about that. Think about how we consume music. Like, it's just a thing that's delivered to us the day of. You know, I used to have to decide whether I wanted to buy a record blind on opening day or wait for reviews. Here, you're listening to it right away, like on a service that you're already paying for, or for free, because I mean, you don't even need the premium version of these services, right?
And that's a good thing. Like, I don't want anyone to think. I mean, I know that streaming services, they don't pay their artists accordingly, which is super bad. But it's awesome that we have access to all that music so quick.
Yeah,
And I
from a
guess the problem-
consumer.
Exactly,
from a
from a
consumer
consumer
perspective.
standpoint. But it's just a lot of stuff from everywhere and so many conversations from everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's good and bad. Like you say, yeah, I would never want to go back to those days where I have to buy like music releases individually. This is definitely the path forward for music. But I think our experience with how we, react to that music changes too, because having that thing that was mine and like not being able to discard it. When I bought an album, that's it. It was in my playlist forever because I bought it. And I only had X amount of albums in my little binder that I had to walk around with, carrying all those discs. And it's just different. It's just different when it's there to listen to. The pro is that you're going to listen to way more than you would have ever before. You have more access to it. But you're also going to forget more of it. I think it's going to fall to the back burner. You're going to replace it quickly.
And a
It's
lot
not
of
be
it's
as
going to be,
meaningful.
less meaningful. Because it's like you can just jump from one thing to another. And I feel like that's what happens now. Even with shows, movies, everyone's jumping from one thing to another. And every conversation is over within like 48 hours.
Yeah.
Because everything's just instant now, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the trends that follow with social media, also with just regular media in general, it's just like you finish with one show, what's next on the list? What else is new coming out? Because I can have a list. I do have a watch list that it's like, oh yeah, I should probably be watching this.
How many of you guys have watch lists? Do the rest of our hosts have watch lists?
I mean,
I do.
Like a watch list?
Yeah.
Or is that
Like a physical list that you check off of stuff that you need to watch. Like you write down when someone recommends something.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, so everyone here but Link. Okay, and that's fine. Sometimes I look at my list and I'm proud of it. I'm like, look at how organized I am. And then sometimes I look at it and I'm like, how sad am I as a person? Like, why is this important enough for me to like jot down?
Well, no, it's important because it's like this is stuff that's like I want to watch, but it's like I don't like. I feel like I get lost in the shuffle between.
Yes.
There's something new coming out. Like, oh, like this is a show that I've wanted to watch. I turn my head for 2 seconds. There's something brand new coming out, and it's like,
No,
this
10.
this is shiny. Let me go watch it.
Yeah.
And that's time that I'm wasting, and I get lost in the shuffle, and it's just a cycle because then it'll be like I watch this brand new show, binge it, finish it, or week to week or whatever it is, watch it, and then it's like, oh wait, I have a list I should be watching, or that I supposedly want to be watching. Let me watch it there. Okay, and the same thing happens where I turn my head for another 2 seconds, and something else just comes out. And by the end of it, I think it points back to, for me at least, from what I've seen, the trends is like how it is for me with social media, with either Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, where it's like I feel like for TikTok, I think it's been a platform that I can get like a lot of information, but also like I can just laugh randomly. But also I see the dumbest stuff, and it's like it's just a swipe of a video. It's like I'm onto a completely different set of either emotions or thought processes or just general sense of being, like feeling how I am or what I'm thinking about. That is like, you know what? It leads me to think maybe I should have more control over the things that I like am watching, am listening to, am viewing, which I think is the end game, I think, for this. Because for me, I have to take control because the companies that are making and producing all this stuff, they're not going to stop. They're making money off of this. They're
It's just
doing
gonna
what
get faster.
they're doing what they're setting out to do. I think it's just you. I think as a person, I think we have to be more selective and just have the willpower to just be like, hey, you know what? I do want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I don't have to watch this right now. I don't have to watch this day of. For me, I know with school being so intense, like I can't rush to watch everything when I want. Like that freedom that I had to just wake up and watch something whenever I want to, or binge something for a whole day and hours. Like I can't do that anymore. And it's weird. It's taking me a little like kind of an adjustment period to get used to, because it's like, man, I'm so used to do this. I'm so used to like having the freedom to do it whenever I want.
Yeah.
And
I missed 8 years of 24, so I watched it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's just like and it's even worse now because it's like it's so accessible to me. But I mean, I have priorities in my life that I put above that stuff, even though that stuff is important to me. But there is other stuff that for me takes precedent. And I think, personally speaking, it is something that I have to, I guess, work on and just being more selective with my choices. I think Link does a very good job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of what?
Of being selective?
Yeah.
And maybe that's
just
why
like,
you don't feel fatigued.
Yeah, I don't feel fatigued.
because I mean, here's an example. We went to watch Morbius as a joke because it's like this is the funny thing, this is the joke, and I really thought it was a joke because I thought they didn't show up for the first like 10 minutes of the movie, and I thought this is the worst.
It was not for the
April
first set.
Fool's.
We walked
It was
in
a-
right
yeah,
when the
we
movie
walked in.
started.
But I didn't get there right, like for
No,
trailers and
yeah,
stuff.
but you said for the first 10 minutes of it. We did not miss. We watched every
For the first 10
impeccable
minutes
minute of that movie.
for the first 10 minutes that I was in the theater,
Yes.
they hadn't gotten there. But Link didn't go with us. We as a group of us, but Link didn't go. Link didn't join us. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time with that. I'm not gonna watch that. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
If there's anything in life I commend you for, it's for skipping Morbius. That was a wise choice. Beyond your
man.
years.
I should have listened to you.
You mentioned the short form content. You talked about like TikTok, and Link kind of hinted at this when he blamed this all on the internet. Is there like a movement towards that shorter form content that kind of like disassociates you from those longer form pieces? Like, is shorter better now in today's, I don't know, society? Is that a fair?
Is
statement?
shorter better than, or is just shorter better in quality?
I think that's an interesting point, because I think when it comes to professional, it all depends on how professional you are. Because watching Marvel movies, they're no longer 22 minutes, the standard 22 or 45 minutes, right? They're in.
You mean shows?
Yeah, shows. Sorry, they're somewhere there. But when it's more amateur level, right? When it's someone on TikTok, shorter is better.
Well, that's my question. Are you asking like, is shorter just better in quality, or shorter better than long format stuff?
I think what do you think is the trend that it's moving towards? You guys, I've heard about people just like spending all day watching on TikTok, moving from one to another, like you mentioned.
I think, yeah.
You think more people spend time on shorter form content than they do on longer form content?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you have that, it's in your palm of your hand. You can be on a subway waiting, just watching videos. You can be at a doctor's appointment, just wait. Like it's like the accessibility of it is so instant and rapid and just so accessible wherever you go. I think the way people like throughout, if you were to like check your phone and see how much time you spend on each app of the day, I mean, what are the big ones? TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think you're spending more time with that stuff consistently on a consistent basis. Like you may have a weekend where I'm like, I'm going to watch 3 movies. I'm going to watch 2 movies. But if you're battling that against like a week of just straight up on your phone, like, I don't know. You'd have to, I don't know the numbers, but I would assume that people spend more time with short format, which may affect how they view long format in the sense of maybe attention span not being as like focused for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Because I know certain people that are like, they like watching TV shows, the 20-minute TV shows, because it's quick, it's easy, and that's it.
Yeah.
They cannot stand to watch a 2.5 hour, 2 hours and 45 minutes, God forbid, a 3-hour movie, because it's like they just lose interest. And I mean I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But then you have shows like Stranger Things that just keep on getting longer.
Yeah.
I feel like
and that catches people's attention. Like that's as it came
That's a good
out,
point.
everyone was talking about Stranger Things. Everyone was watching those. You know, it was only one episode that was 2 hours, but everyone was watching those hour-long episodes.
But they were like hour 40
Yeah.
episodes. They were.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was watching those hour-long episodes.
Yeah, but for me, who's the person who's gonna binge that? I took breaks through the long episodes.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
watching
didn't watch
that
it
all
in
in
one
one sitting.
sitting.
I don't know, but you still watch it within a week.
Within a week, but it's not anything new. I've done that. I've done that since Stranger Things has come out.
I also think that Stranger Things too had the equity. Like they earned. Like you've been with us for, 3 seasons, 6 years.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's
It was
like
a
you're
commitment
gonna
thing.
watch this. It's not a tough sell. It's not like if it was season 1 and it was like, yeah, this show has 2-hour episodes, it'd be a harder sell. Also, a lot of the conversation surrounding the show going into this season was how long the episodes were gonna be. So they definitely prepped the audience to know that the episodes, they got the word out. Listen, they're gonna be long, and we're gonna split it in 2 parts because the back half is gonna be even longer. You know what I mean? So like, I think they prepped everyone that they knew what they were getting into going into the season. But that's a good point though, that like if the audience is there, you can get longer and longer. These Marvel movies got super long, at some point. The Batman was, 3 hours long. If the audience is there, they'll stick through it. But shorter form, I've had this argument, like me and my wife, she's more of a TV person, I'm more of a movie person. Like I don't mind starting a movie every time I go to the TV, but first she's like, we don't really have time. Let's watch TV episodes.
Let's watch
But
Friends.
then we'll watch 4 of them, right? And if it's Friends, if it's a half hour, sitcom, we'll watch 8 of them. You know what I mean? You'll go way longer than it would have spent a movie. But just knowing that you have the freedom to disconnect, I'm like that with gaming. I love games. Like I used to play like WWE a lot, and because I could have a match, and I could have 15 if I want, but after the 3rd one, I could turn it off if I want. I play Fortnite not because it's the greatest game ever, but because each game is 15 minutes max. I can turn it off at any time. So I think that short form. If I start playing Legend of Zelda, I know that it's the only thing I'm gonna be doing in front of a TV for that week, because you can't just jump off and then be like, where was I? What was happening? We're in the middle of this dungeon, So some of these things require that investment, and that bite-sized thing is even more bite-sized now ever since Vine was invented. And now we have, Instagram stories and TikTok, and we have YouTube shorts, which is like crazy to me. Like, have you guys seen these YouTube shorts?
They're just like
What do you
stories.
mean by YouTube Shorts?
Oh, you haven't
It's
heard about
basically
YouTube shorts?
TikTok.
It's like, okay, yeah. then
Oh,
I've seen
okay,
that,
yeah, I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
It's like the TikTok of YouTube now. So it's like, which to me like goes against the entire purpose of YouTube, but
Yeah.
they're diversifying what they see as an opportunity,
Something
like,
for
their
everyone.
platform. Yeah, to be something for everyone. All these platforms, like, I think this all started with Netflix, in my opinion, right? Where it was an all-you-can-eat buffet of content, and I think that that's kind of like what we got used to, which is why I think it's difficult. Like, people don't really rent or buy movies anymore, which
Yeah.
again, I think is fine. It's good. Sometimes it can be difficult to know what platform everything is on. Like, have you ever wondered where you're supposed to go to watch something?
I do it all the time. That's why I just got like I look at an app to tell me where it is.
Yeah, actually, you wanted to invent that app, and then you found out that app.
And then
actually
and then I realized that what you told me there is an app that does it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, shout out to Just Watch. That's the one I use. I don't
Not
know.
just in TV, just watch.
Yeah, Just Watch.
Just watch.
The app. But it can be difficult to explain to people when they're like, you're like, oh, go watch the Batman, and they're like, oh, it's on Netflix. I think actually your dad Link was telling me the other day that the Batman was on Netflix,
Yeah.
and I was like, no,
No, we were
it's
like,
not.
no, it's not. It's like,
He's
yes, it is.
Yeah, he's like, yes, it is. He fought us on it.
And I
He
was
was
like,
making
you
the point that it
and I
was the
like,
new Batman.
I'm like, do you want to bet $20?
Yeah, no, I bet him $200, and he didn't want to like take me up on it, which shows me that he wasn't as sure as he pretended. to.
Coward.
I don't know. He seemed pretty sure.
He
Yeah.
seemed pretty sure that it was, but I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, to the point because he was like, I saw it. I watched the new Batman movie on Netflix, and then he pulled it up,
And then I was like, yes. And we watched the new Batman movie on HBO Max.
and I told him, and I also watched the new Batman movie that you saw, but I watched it like 15 years ago, or when was Dark Knight Rises?
10 years ago?
Yeah,
10
10 years ago. So it turned out that trending on Netflix was the Dark Knight Rises because they just got it, and he watched it, and he thought it was the new Batman movie, and he loved it.
Which is funny because we watched it with him in movie theaters. I don't understand
Yeah,
how.
but he fell asleep, so
that
he
was
missed
10 years ago.
large portions of it. Yeah. So the Dark Knight Rises, according to you, that still holds up to this day.
Can't wait for him to find out about Batman versus Superman.
Just awkward. No one wants to talk about that. It happens in gaming too. Game Pass, all you can eat. I pay for Game Pass. I don't use it.
Same.
Is that right? Is that fair?
Oh, same. I have Game Pass.
I
cannot
canceled
use
it.
Okay, so mine's just expired, and I did not re-up because I was away last month on a trip, and I'm waiting till I need it to sign up for it. Which I know a lot of people do with these streaming services. They're like, oh, I have Netflix for this month, and then disconnect, and I have HBO for the next month. You know?
I forgot about it. It re-upped by itself.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dan.
I've become really picky with games, and I would just rather purchase the game and support the creator, and as best as I can.
You know, that's a good point because you also referred to that when we were talking about streaming music and how the artists aren't really compensated. We're always looking at this from a consumer perspective because primarily that's what we are. But one of the good things about having all this content is that there's work for everyone and that everybody can produce and release. But with all this competition, there has been like the conversation of, is everyone being fairly compensated? Because when everybody does TV and music and podcasts and movies and games, like, is anyone particularly like in demand? Because you're selling services now rather than individual products. So is it more important for Netflix to have like 3,000, TV series for Game Pass to be able to say they have 100 plus games instead of 50, 200 plus, rather than what those games actually are? I know that, like, for example, I don't know if you guys have heard that the Marvel, like the special effects people have been kind of, I don't know if boycotting or just like
protesting,
unionize.
Yeah, because they're being stretched thin. Like the expectations are larger than ever, and the compensation has not moved up in scale. So
is this for like TV?
This is for everything. It's all one now. The movies and TV. I mean, just look at Doctor Strange.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that. The She-Hulk trailer, some of the special effects, in Doctor Strange.
That last Miss Marvel episode.
Yeah,
I've read about companies deciding to say no to Marvel.
Yes,
in their work because they can't do it.
Yeah, and this has happened in the past. You guys remember that movie Life of Pi?
Yeah,
with the tiger, like. That won an Oscar while the company that did the tiger went bankrupt because of the low level of compensation, all the work that they put into it. They weren't financially, incentivized for that work. And that happens all the time. Like, the bigger these platforms get, the less that goes directly to the creators because there's more leverage power for, oh, you're going to be on our platform rather than like, we need your specific content.
That's crazy, man.
It's a good way to start it off. You get me? Because you're able to get your name out there.
Yeah.
More cost efficiently, I guess. It's cheaper to do that.
Yeah, it's easier to sell your content. Yeah. It's easier to sell your content than ever.
Yeah.
But
it's, like I said, it's a good way to start it off.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like a video game company, right?
Yeah.
You put your stuff out there in Game Pass. You get lucky, everyone starts playing it. Your next game, all right, I don't have to put it on Game Pass anymore because I built that equity.
Mm-hmm.
People knowing the quality of gaming that I make, you can now buy my game. Right. I don't have to make it free for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Halo.
It's good starting up, but it's pretty bad long term.
Yeah. And also you have to create a relationship with the consumer enough that they are willing to spend the money. Because, like, maybe I love this game, but I don't $50, $60 love this game. You know what I mean? In that sense, maybe I will, like, praise your game on Game Pass, but I won't buy it. There's always games that are going to break through, like, for example, like Elden Ring. Like, everybody got the game. Everybody played it, and it did great without needing to be on a service like that.
But even then, I feel like, for me, it's harder to make that relationship with a game studio on Game Pass.
Why? Why do you think so?
Because there's too many options.
Yeah.
I can just be like, oh, I don't really feel like playing this right now and switch to the next thing.
Well, that's what I do too, because I know that there's games that I've enjoyed that I've moved on from just to go to the next one.
Exactly.
Even though I am enjoying it. Exactly. I didn't pay for it. I don't feel like I have to beat it. I can be like, oh, I really like this game. What else can I try? And that's that all-you-can-eat buffet style that we've talking about. And it even goes into, like, literally eating, right? What about food options?
Dude, I tell you, I had a dilemma every single day of when I was working from home on what I wanted to eat that day because of Uber Eats. Because the way that my job was set up, I didn't have a long time for like lunch, so it's like I couldn't really like leave, which
Yeah.
kind of sucked. But I'd get it delivered at random points throughout the day. But just the sheer amount of stuff that's on there to like that you could literally just get dropped off at your house. You don't have to leave or anything. And I mean, I don't think the delivery fees were as bad as they are now. For me, I mean, this was like the first time I was using Uber Eats.
Yeah. No, and they used to send promotions all the time, and I would fall for them.
Yeah,
Because I would be like, I would download every service: Uber Eats, DoorDash. What else was there?
like Grubhub. Grubhub is
Somebody bought them, right? Did Uber Eats buy Grubhub?
Amazon,
Oh, okay.
or they have a partnership with Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, you get
Oh.
like a premium Grubhub membership or something like that.
Don't tell me that.
I already did it.
Oh no.
But yeah, I just think
I remember recommending places to you, and you ate there instantly that day. It was like, oh, we went to this place, and you're like, I had it for lunch.
I already ordered. It's
Yeah.
on its way. I don't know. I think just things are becoming more accessible, and I mean, it was a joke, but I think Link is right. It's the internet.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful thing too, though. It's great to have like unlimited power
Listen,
at your
but
fingertips.
with that unlimited power, like with great power comes great responsibility. It's like
Yes.
you have to make a choice for yourself, like what you're gonna allow and what you're not gonna allow. If it gets too much or too overwhelming, then maybe it's like you have to realign, like reset your priorities and act on from those. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, because for me, I know that I just have a hard time making choices, making decisions. Like I'm just very indecisive. Like that's just how I am. So it's tough for me. I usually like relent to somebody else, or it's like, oh, what do you want? Like, what would you like to eat? What would you? So like, I kind of have something of a choice. But yeah, it's crazy how universal, this feeling is of like ease of access to things, from the things that we watch on TV, to video games, to music, to reading with our Kindle and our audiobooks and
Yes.
things like that. And even food. Like it's crazy to me how much like things have changed and how we've changed, I think, as in society.
It's funny
So
going
wild.
back to that conversation about the bite-sizedness. Like when I go to open my Kindle and read a book, and I look at the chapter length, and then I'm like, maybe I'll just go to Reddit. And then I'll spend more time on Reddit. I was like, I could have read 2 chapters in the book. Why didn't I read the book? And I just regret everything. So what about you, Link? Where do you lie on this conversation?
Man, I'm hungry right now. Talking about food and unlimited food and buffets.
Get on your phone, bro.
Check out Uber
Yeah,
Eats.
just
man.
order. Yeah, they'll
I-
deliver it to this room.
I don't
I
believe.
heard
will
if
come.
you have an Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you get premium.
I don't do those services because I can't justify paying
Absolutely.
so I would just rather drive.
Yeah,
I actually don't have any of those services on my phone.
Yeah, I deleted them too because I was like, it motivates me to get up. Like I would go and I would look at the fees and I was just like, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
I
yeah.
can't
Kind of
justify it.
ridiculous.
I remember one time like we were
It's
watching something and
ridiculous.
we were already in the midst of it and we really wanted Taco Bell and then like Gabe ordered Taco Bell and then it was like way so much money that we were like, man, we could have ate it.
When
at a
you
real
spend
place.
more than $20 at Taco Bell, you know it's a problem. We spent like $50.
yeah, $50.
But it was all of us, so that makes sense.
No.
right?
because it would have been
it was-
half if we would have gone to Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, it was insane. But I enjoyed it. It was a good time, man.
It was a good, and
It
that's
was not a good time for me who had to pay for it.
I mean, but we didn't we all pay?
Nah,
for
nah,
that?
No, because we were doing this thing
We're
where
taking
everyone's
turns
just
paying.
like, you know what? You're gonna
Oh.
pay this time. You're gonna pay.
Yeah.
I just had to bite the bullet and be like, I'm gonna pay for $50 Taco Bell right now.
yeah, because it was like I'm gonna go pick up Taco Bell for all of us, and the next week it was like I'm gonna order it. Oh no, it's $50. Why? So, but we quickly learned not to wait to
Yeah.
order it.
No.
And those are the lessons that you learn. Like it's great because in the moment we needed it now, so we got it and we paid for it. Sure, but it's good to learn that lesson so that we plan ahead further, because we have all the information in the world at our fingertips today. We have access to knowledge, and anything you want to learn, you no longer have to go out and pay someone to do it. It's there at your fingertips or for a nominal fee. But at the same time, There are obstacles, distractions. It's like walking through the cave of wonders and not touching anything, keeping your eye on the path to what the goal is. Because when all the treasures in the world surround you, it's easy to get distracted by something shiny and gold. And we hope that as you continue along your path, you take a time to admire around you, but you move forward and use the unlimited power at your disposal for good, not just for your life, but for those around you. And we hope to continue doing that alongside you week in and week out. In the meantime, keep searching. If you want to stay for an extended portion of this conversation on our Patreon, join us. That made no sense. If you want to keep listening to this conversation with a little more insight, join us on our Patreon.